Welcome back to the Premier League show. Pep Guardiola has been speaking about Manchester City's latest signing. As expected, Antoine Semenyo completed his move from Bournemouth, and Guardiola says the winger must adapt quickly to ensure he makes an impact this season.
I play extraordinary in Bournemouth in the last years. Can play in both sides, right, left. He used both legs unbelievably, and in striker as well can play for his pace, and he knows the Premier League. So many clubs want him, and he decided to join us. So all I can say, thanks to him. We need to reinforce for the next years, and that's why the club make the gesture, the effort to take him, and the team will embrace him because this specific group of players and club always make the people when arrive so comfortable, and he will adapt quick.
One player in so far. Are you trying to do more business this month?
I don't know. I cannot answer that question.
OK, so finally got the deal done. A good signing for Manchester City?
Oh, terrific. Terrific signing. I don't think I've seen a more two-footed player for many years. And as the manager said there, Pep Guardiola talked about the fact he can play both sides. Not only can he play both sides, he can go both ways. The goals we saw before the break, you know, equally, you think of the goal he scored just the other night, the way it arced away with his right foot, and then you see the goal he scores against Chelsea when he gets the power with his left foot. You know, that is such a talent, and such a you know, to have both of those weapons to make it difficult for any defender. I think he's hungry because he's had to build his way up the leagues. What he's going to probably quickly understand, and he'll probably watch that interview and go, is he that happy?
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was
that he signed me for the amount that they paid. But what he's doing is, and he'll be, you know, he should be lucky to join us. He should be lucky to join me as a manager, and what he's gonna. It's that kind of, rather than we're lucky to have him, which can sometimes be the case. If he'd have moved somewhere else, there might have been a lot more fanfare in the way he's spoken about. That interview there is like, he's got to fit into this machine we've got, and be part of it, and produce straight away. I thought it was really interesting.
It's telling, isn't it?
But that is the elite level type of football club he's going to. He's not now going to be playing at Bournemouth, where he's the superstar. He's going to be playing at Manchester City, where there are multiple superstars, and you have to fight for that limelight. It's
interesting, though. I think if Semenyo's watching, I dare say Pep is very, very pleased that he's got him, though, because he always talks about. I've sat next to him and asked him what he looks for in players, and it's the character. He said, you know, he could be the best player in the world, but he needs to fit into what I've got, and clearly he sees that in Semenyo. It will be a challenge, though, for him to sort of fit into that. But we've seen that some players before struggle. You know, Jack Grealish is obviously the obvious choice. They struggle to sort of fit in and mould themselves into the Pep way. Do you see Semenyo doing that successfully, though?
I do, because I think his attitude is outstanding. I think he's not just a player that shows flashes. I think he's involved all the time. His work rate's fantastic. I think he's young enough to still learn and be intelligent in the positions that he plays. Yes, he'll have to fit into the structure that Pep Guardiola wants. Everybody has to. Even some of the most talented players we've seen go to Manchester City have to fit into how he sees the team playing. But again, there feels like there's a real opportunity, especially on that right-hand side for Manchester City at the moment, for a player just like him, that can go straight into the team, which I think he will, and thrive. And having been someone that you know, moved clubs twice in January, I think it can be a great thing. He's just scored the winner the other night. He's going into there as confident as he can be. So hopefully he's given, you know, he's put straight into the team, and you can rush in and kind of show your quality straight away. You're not having to wait the summer to build it up. Yeah, it's interesting because there was so much talk about him not being played by Guardiola for those 3 games, wasn't it, when he was the subject of a potential move to Manchester City. But actually, it felt like almost Semenyo was saying as well, no, I want to play, I want to prove that I can do this, I won't get injured, everything will be fine. And some felt it was more of a risk that he did play, but he got that winner against Spurs. Do you think this is enough for City this month? Do they need to do more if they're going to
chase Arsenal down at all?
I think the only issue is the injuries to Guardiola and Diaz might just force them into, again, with a hole there, and a player like Mark Gahey, who's going to be talked about throughout this whole window because of his quality and his availability as such. Whether they go and try and get somebody to step in. Ake's obviously come back from injury, but had his injury. Kirstenhoff still, I think, has got some improvement to make, but they're two big injuries for them to have. So again, is that something that they try and rectify? But as the manager talked about, it's not going to be like last season where they brought in 4, 5, 6 players. I think if there's a deal there to be done, they'll do it, but they're not going to chase, I don't think.
Yeah, OK, we might talk about Gay a little bit later. Look, as for the title race itself, Guardiola is taking the positives from Arsenal's draw against Liverpool, but still thinks his side need to do more.
Of course, the team at top of the league is dropping points better, but if we make that analysis after 3 draws and we are not able to win that games, it's better to think ourselves, right? When you draw a game, it's fair. When you lose a game, it's fair, because you have to do better. And only we can do is mirror ourselves. And I'm not watching Arsenal Liverpool to think I am relieved or something like that. Of course, it's better to be at 6 points than 8 points. Everybody knows it, but the reality is the reality. So we have to meet an incredible amount of tough games we had ahead of us to be contenders to win the Premier League. So in terms of points, 51 to play, 6 the difference. Everything is open.
OK, well, he's still shrugging his shoulders. Everything's open. They've still got to believe. I mean, 6 points is 6 points. It's not 8 points, as he made a point of saying there. Can they make up that ground? Do you think City could do it?
Yes, and I think they're the only team that can. I don't think anyone else can maintain the levels that will be required to overtake Arsenal at the end of the season. But
I presume you're talking about Villa there, maybe.
Yeah, or anyone else from behind. I just think that City are that team that are capable of putting a run together at exactly the right time as we lead into the crunch part of the second half of the season that could put the pressure on. I think that's what it's about. It's about putting pressure on Arsenal within 3 or 4 points going into maybe even the last 4 or 5 games to really see where Arsenal are at mentally to try and get over, because that's the hardest part, is once you can see it, it's being able to still be calm and focused and deliver. Manchester City have got players that have done it already, so I think that's what I'm sure he'll be thinking about, is can we at least be within touching distance going into the latter part of the season to really see where Arsenal are at mentally. Yeah,
it's going to be a fascinating race, for sure. Right, still to come, we're going to talk to Dean about one of his former clubs, West Ham. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. And Carlo Solokor joins us to talk Chelsea as well. But next, the problems mount for Thomas Frank ahead of a huge FA Cup game against Aston Villa this weekend.